I'm having the day of like, first I lost my skirt and I was farting around with that, not realizing that I didn't have my key for my scooter. But it's like when you only have a small amount of energy, everything is energy. And so you have to be so on top of things. And it just slipped through the cracks today.
Have you been on this show before?
No. I think the hard thing is that, you know, for me, every time I do something like this, it's like, is this the thing that helps me get to stay alive?
Every person's pitch varies so much, and I can see that you have...
I'm trained as an actor,
Yeah,
so I've got a
exactly.
pretty resonant...
You have a great voice.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole, and you're listening to All Access Pass, a show brought to you by the Accessibility Collective at CITR 101.9 FM. So today's we have a guest, Madeline. Madeline suffers from post-viral syndrome, which for her includes myalgic encephalomyelitis, or ME. So how long have you been living with this disability?
I've been disabled now for about 25 years.
You can't work because of your disability, and living is very expensive, especially in a city like Vancouver.
And it's also disability supports and money in all provinces in Canada is abysmally low. So
It's a system that's very much so not encouraging people with disabilities to thrive.
yeah, creating situations in which it is impossible to do so. It is an assurance of an early death. It is an assurance of deterioration. I'm struggling to stay alive.
I knew that I wasn't able to manage my illness on disability assistance. I started looking into MAID.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about MAID. It stands for Medical Assistance in Dying, and it's a bill specific to Canada. So it was originally created as compassionate end-of-life care for those with foreseeable deaths or suffering. But it's since extended to really anybody with a disability.
I applied for MAID after I shook the last tree I could find. I was running through the last of $40,000 of debt. I said, I know where I'm going. To be trapped in a poverty care home bed, not able to connect or have purpose or community. So for me, MAID is not a life and death choice, because that I think is the big misunderstanding. It's like, oh, they're choosing. It's like, no, I've been forced into a situation in which I get to choose what kind of death, but I would like to choose what kind of life I want to live.
Thank you so much for sharing your story,
Thank
for
you.
all your advocacy. Okay, it's for you.
Perfect, thank you. Do you mind if I just sing for a minute to relax myself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up, sing, then you spread your wings, and you take for the sky. But till that morning, there ain't nothing gonna harm you.
I love spring. Where I grew up, we didn't really have a proper spring. So when I moved out here, I became a great blossom aficionado. As I've deteriorated, the transitory nature of the blossoms, their beauty and how quickly they go and how sad I feel about that sort of, help remind me to savor the moment, as I'm fighting for my life. Well, I can still fight, I will. But when I get a month away from running out of money, the panic is a hard thing to navigate. To die like this feels like dying by slipping on a banana peel. It's so ridiculous. It's so wrong. And yet it's happening.